What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Dent Digest Live Show. Hope you guys are doing great. As you see, I am here all lonely without my buddy Manny. He is okay. Everybody's been reaching out. Everything okay with Manny? Is everything okay with Manny? Everything's okay. Not a big deal. He's just spending some family time. You know, we all need that once in a while. Disconnect from the crazy world that we're in right now. So I told Manny that I was going to give an update on him and let all you guys know he's good. And you get just me tonight and our special guest. So I'm excited. Excited about this guest. He's got a ton of experience. I've been watching his stuff for quite a while on social media, and he's been watching the show for a while too. But anyway, I got a couple things I want to go over. I'm going to show you a sneak peek on a tool that I got. Some of you guys have seen it, but there's also a secret one in here that you haven't seen, but we're not going to talk about these till next week. So I'm going to leave you with the cliffhanger. So I'm just going to bring them on, just a really quick little blast through. We kind of know what these are. You know, you kind of know, and you do see there's 3 of them here. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to wait till next week with my buddy Manny because he's the hammer connoisseur. So, but no, man, I hope you guys are having a fantastic week. It was sorry I missed last week. I had to take the week last week and really generate all of my time in getting the shop open. So Monday was our first day and it went really good. You look at things and you're like, put all this time and all this energy into getting something together. You know, you're there every day, every night, every weekend, killing yourself trying to get something done. Not even just a shop, but even any type of a project. And you're just so focused, you know, you're just laser focused in trying to get this thing up and running or get this thing together. And everything's blowing by. And you're trying to enjoy. I tell people all the time, I said this to a couple guys, and I don't know if it's because I'm getting older and I'm realizing things. I really tried to enjoy this journey that I was on, trying to get this new shop open. Just trying to enjoy every step. Try not to complain and be upset about things. So it went really well. It was kind of surreal when you look back and we get open on Monday and the shop's full of cars. And I stepped back like midday and I was like, this is freaking cool. Like all this hard work, your first day open, you got a shop full of cars. People are walking in the door. It's like, this is awesome. It was a really, really good feeling. So anyway, we're done with all that. It's not important. But no, man, I hope you guys are busy. Business here is different. We are busy for sure. A lot of big smashes again, but it's about that time of the year that we usually get smash after smash after smash after smash. But I'll take it. But I think hail's going to be early this year is my prediction. My hail prediction. I'm about as right as the weatherman out there. So is beginning of March, maybe 2 weeks, maybe a week or two. I think we're going to get some hail. The weather's been crazy here. You know, today it was like over 60. Tomorrow it's going to be like 37. So I don't know. But I do have my joke of the week, but I want to get Bruce on here and I need his help. So I want to see if he can help you guys with this joke, because my other half, Manny, he just can't get it. You know, he just can't get the joke. So but let's see if we can get the experienced guy on here. And he has a really, really nice shade of lipstick on. So when you see him, make sure you bring that up. It's a really nice shade. What's up, Bruce?
It's lip gloss. It's not.
Oh. So
maybe
how are you?
I'm the joke of the week.
Hey, I wouldn't do that to you.
Oh, okay.
Come on now. And there is a joke about the lipstick. Me and Bruce were talking on Messenger, and I was like, oh, just put some makeup on. It'll be fine. You'll be
No, I
fine.
just asked you if I needed to brush my teeth. That's all I asked.
So, how are you?
I'm fine. You?
I'm doing okay. How's the weather there?
Yeah. It was a little cool today. It was. I really didn't look at the temperature, but it had to be down around low 40s, and the wind was blowing about 10 to 15 miles an hour out of the south. So it was a little chilly today.
So let's get in. The name of your business is
Dingbusters,
and then you're out of where?
Bellingham, Washington.
Good old Washington. So
Yep.
let's get into you a little bit, but let's get into this joke of the week first. Alrighty. What did the little corn say to the mama corn?
Oh, good grief.
So where did the little corn, or what did the little corn say to the mama corn? Come on, guys. Come on. We can do this. We can do this. Come on. All right, man. You sure you don't have anything on that one, Bruce?
Well, it's the end of the workday, and you expect me to think?
We are exercising the frontal lobe of the brain.
No, I left it in a jar upstairs.
Well, James Bernard is close. Actually, Josh got it. Where is the popcorn?
Oh, brother.
So there's our joke. Josh Dragos got it. So how long have you been pushing dents and doing PDR, and how did you get started?
26 years. And yeah, long time. I was a late bloomer too. I didn't get started till I was 39, almost 40. And a friend of mine went to paintball to learn paint touch-up and bumper repair.
Okay.
And while he was there, he got offered the dent repair package, and he wasn't interested in it. So he brought the literature home because he always knew that I was doing stuff on the side to keep my wife from having to work, because I was working at the aluminum plant.
Okay.
Yeah, as a millwright. And he gave me the literature, and it looked like something you'd find in the back of Popular Mechanics. And I didn't know anything about PDR, paintless dent repair. And so I just kind of put it in the bottom of my underwear drawer, and I forgot about it. And yeah. And so it got to the place to where, because I was doing firewood on the side, I was doing mechanic work on the side, I was doing whatever I had to do, plus work at the aluminum plant. And there was about a 2-week stint. I couldn't get up into the hills to get firewood. So things were getting a little tight financially. And well, back then, my credit was shot. So really didn't know where to borrow any money, but I scraped some money together. And I just happened to be fishing around my underwear drawer, and I found that flyer again. And I said, well, maybe I'll check this out. So I scraped some money together and went to Saginaw, Michigan to the paintball, and basically took 1 week of training and learned enough to be dangerous.
Oh, man.
So, yeah. Yeah.
So we usually talk about tools. Did you happen to bring any tools with you?
Yeah, I did.
Let's dabble into that.
Obviously I'm kind of a Stanliner supporter.
You are.
So
You are.
yeah. Yeah. Well, some of these aren't new, but these, I've got so many tools, it's ridiculous. But I mean, you've seen my van.
Yeah.
With that big slide out on it and everything. That little van is rated for 3/4 ton, and I think I'm pushing almost 3/4 ton. There's so much stuff in there. I mean, because I've got enough stuff in there to you know, porta power and you know, stuff to pull and everything that you know, I could, it's whatever I come across. But like this one here, obviously this is Stanliner,
Yeah.
but this is like a double bend. I use this every day around door handles and stuff like that. I mean, it's sharp on one end, sharp on this end, and it's really, this tool is really strong, really
All of their
strong.
hand tool stuff seems to be. I have a bunch of their smaller stuff like that works really well.
Well, this is I can't remember if this is German stainless or if this is Japanese stainless, but um, I've got one tool and it's similar to this one, but it's really small and it's carbon steel. And that thing, of course, that was a uh, um, Kaz gave me that one as a gift. Matter of fact, I think he gave me this one too. And that is insanely strong. I picked this up. This isn't a Stanliner tool, but I picked this up. This thing,
Excalibur.
this thing is money.
Yes.
Yes.
For fender
Ye-
lips.
yeah, years ago, and I think I made a video clip. Years ago, I made myself a flat bar with a really sharp bend and then radius the tip of it just right to where it will fit right down in that corner. And that flat bar, you can roll that fender edge out just by rocking it. And I keep a little tester tape on there, put some heat on there. But this thing is actually, for me, is easier to use.
A little more
And
control, right?
oh yeah, I mean, and of course you can push with it too. But yeah, it's yeah, it's there's a little bit of a learning curve to it, but this thing is money right here. Oh, what did I do with that? Ah, here it is. I picked this up at MTE.
It is bright.
Yes, I got it from
Edgy.
Dave Strain.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave. Yeah, Edgy. Yep, it is. I got a chance to use it today on a Porsche. I mean, it lights up the whole door down inside.
I've had mine for a couple
Great.
months and I have not even
Hmm.
had to recharge it yet.
Yeah, he told me that it holds a charge for a long time.
And I like the
Yeah,
auto
let me.
shut off feature on that.
Oh yeah, yeah. He said that too. Oh, this thing right there.
Oh yeah. The tips from
That is
Anson.
that is money right there.
What do you
Knocking
like
crowns
about it?
down. The way it knocks crowns down. I had some sharp crowns, and it. I think I posted it. It was a Outback, and it made everything come up so nice and clean, and didn't hardly leave a divot in there. And even when it did, it was so broad that it didn't take hardly any work at all to flatten it out.
Huh.
I mean, it was insane.
And it'll fit on a standard R4.
Yeah, that's right. Right there.
Huh.
Yeah, just clips right on. Well, yeah.
I haven't tried
How
those yet.
many how many tools was I supposed to bring?
Whatever you want. It's your show. We're here for you.
No, it's your show.
No. You're the guest. You can do. You're driving the bus. I'm just steering it.
Everyday tools. Okay. Cranes.
Oh yeah.
all three.
Now, what do you like the
Go ahead.
most about your about the cranes?
They're sharp, but they push soft, even though they're sharp. Because I mean, granted, they're sharp this way, but if you look how much area that it's pushing up, even though it's sharp.
Makes sense.
I mean, it moves a lot. And where I use, of course, this one is a fender tool, but where I use these the most, of course, because I do a lot of trucks, is especially the straight one, is down through the top of the bedside.
Okay, the cap.
Yeah, once you take the cap off. Yeah, I was real proud of myself the other day. I took my time, and I had a little hook tool. And you know how the new Dodge Rams are? The bed caps are almost like a one-time use type deal.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I pulled both bed or rail caps off without breaking a tab.
How'd you
Because
do
it took
that?
a long. Well, I took a heat gun, and I heated it up so where it was nice and toasty warm. And then I've got like a little hook tool that I use that I can push and pull. And so I wedged it and then pulled on the tip, pushed and pulled on the tabs until it would release.
Okay.
And it took a while, but I got them both off without breaking anything. I was pretty proud of myself.
I would be too, because those things are brutal. They're brutal to pull off.
Well, and then and then even if you get them at a decent price, they're still about 160, 180 bucks a piece.
If you can get them.
If you can get them. Let's see. Triple bend and J hook.
Okay.
These are great for nooks and crannies on doors.
What color is the
And
handle
you
on
can,
those?
Red
and black? Yeah, the red and black one I have.
Yeah. The triple bend is red and black, and then the J hook is gray and blue.
Yeah. So on your daily dent repair, you're almost always using Stanliner?
No. Sometimes it depends. I mean, if I'm doing small dents, like in Ford F-150, 250, 350s, the recent ones, aluminum, I'm using circus rods.
Okay. The sharp stuff.
But it depends on obviously it depends on the dent.
Yeah.
If it's little and it's sharp, then I'm using a circus rod. If it's broad, then I'm using a Stanliner, because I want to move as much as I can.
Yeah.
And then if I have to, I'll finish it off with a circus rod.
Now, Brandon's asking, did you get the new fender lip tool from Stanliner?
This? No, I got this from
A1.
Excalibur. I got it from A1. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
and this one here, I hate to interrupt you.
Oh, you're fine.
This one here is a almost 40-inch fishtail. Wow. I bugged Thomas, and I bugged Thomas, and I bugged Thomas to make this, because they made one, and John from good grief, what's his name? He's over in your neck of the woods.
Scotto.
Yeah, he got that long one, and he was showing it off on a video, and you know, immediately you're thinking, not fair, not fair. So I bugged, yeah. So I could have used this all the time, and I bugged them, and I bugged them, and I bugged them, and then they like made like 8 or 10 of them for the booth at MTE, and yeah, I finally snagged it. Oh, you're gonna. I don't know if you've seen this yet or not. Let me put the battery in it. Have
I'm
you
gonna take
seen this yet?
a B&D light.
Yeah.
What is your thoughts on the road with that thing?
This thing, depending upon the, because everybody's preferences are different as far as, you know, what they like, whether they like lines, whether they like fog, whether they like green or blue or yellow or pink or whatever. I'm not really a fan of pink, but you know how that goes. But the suction cup on this is great. They wanted to get this out as soon as they could, so it's not really set up for like bat vac, but I'm sure later on down the road they probably will. But this thing is incredibly well made because all of this stuff is like the plastic is machined out of one solid piece.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Okay. This is the, oh, I don't know if it's, no, you can't really see it. Well, maybe if I dim it down a little bit. Come on. It's a little bright. I don't think you can see it. No, you can't see it. Because the regular lighting on this is, of course, you probably already know, but the regular lighting on this is uh, cool, warm, and cool.
Yeah.
And then the center LEDs, you can set it up basically at whatever color you want. And so I've got it set, the 2 center stripes, I've got it set at gold.
Okay.
And or they're kind of a yellow gold. And that combination right there, even outside, is really easy on the eyes.
Now, how do you feel when it's on the side of a car? I don't have one, and I haven't held one. Just from the videos that I've seen and people talking about it, the neck that comes off of the lens of it, how does it work with on the side of a car? Does it seem awkward? Does it maybe the neck look long for me?
It looks long, but once you get it in,
Okay.
you can dial that thing right in.
Okay. Yeah, I like the machined. Mike does really, really good machine work over B&D, and I like that
Yeah.
machined plastic. You know, it looked really, really well done.
And it's strong, and I like the fact that you can dial that lens in to where all the fog disappears and you just have solid lines.
Yeah.
It's great.
Now, are you a fog guy or line guy?
I am a fog guy. Part early on, well, of course, I was like, what was I? I was 12 years into it, but I didn't really know how to move metal, and until I came across Sal Contreras, and I'll rough everything out in fog, and then use natural reflection to finish it out.
Yeah.
But if I'm inside, I'll use a line board to find all my oddball spots. You know, the little lows and highs that I've missed or whatever. But other than that, it's mostly fog.
Yeah. And I almost feel and I've been in it. I mean, this is my 21st year. I'm an old Dent Wizard guy, so I've always been fog. But I almost feel if you could be a hybrid guy to where you can use both,
Mm-hmm.
you would have a little bit of an advantage. Because I feel like the fog does a really good job when you're starting.
Mm-hmm.
And then I feel like the lines really help with the finishing part of it.
Yeah. Back when I had a trailer, I painted the back door solid white when you could open it. And then I spray painted black lines, vertical lines all the way down.
Yeah.
And I was using that when I couldn't find a bush or anything like that
Yeah.
to finish it out with natural reflection, I would actually park the vehicle in front of that door and finish it out that way. Or even when I was in my shop for a short time, because I did have a retail shop for 6 years, but in the 6 years it only paid for itself 1 month. It was kind of an expensive vacation from the weather because it rains a lot over here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's not really a pouring down rain. It's more like a miserable drizzle all stupid day long. So
That's that's what I hear over there. You know, my wife was like, she went to Seattle for work,
yeah.
and she was like, "It's so pretty here, but it's always dreary." You know what I mean? It would just always seemed like it was drizzly, foggy, gray.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well,
so so after you spent all that time in training and trying to figure it out, where did you go from there?
I went straight to the dealers. Um, it was kind of an unusual situation because back when I got into it, there was a bunch of guys that got out. And so there was really nobody up here except for maybe the Chevy dealer that was servicing any of the dealers.
Huh.
So I walked in the door and they're looking at me like, oh, I tell them what I did, gave them my business card, and they're saying, oh, great, we got a dent guy. Well, I didn't really feel like a dent guy, but
You were a figure it out guy.
yeah, felt like a little birdie in a new world. And um, all of my pricing was because because I was basically by myself up here with nobody to talk to or compare anything with, so I didn't know what to charge or anything like that. So I figure over the years, early on in my career, I probably gave away thousands and thousands of dollars worth of work, but I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we've all
it was
been there.
yeah, it was tough.
So
Yeah,
you pretty
it's
much
been
just
a
worked at the dealers and started figuring it out on their cars, huh?
yeah, and then every once in a while, you get a retail job or whatever, but um, you're still doing stuff for peanuts,
Yeah.
and you're just basically getting it good enough to where they're happy. You, I was never really happy with my work because most people that are artistic are their own worst critics,
Yeah.
and it's uh, it's like when I used to play golf, I would go home and spend countless hours trying to figure out how to take that last stroke off of my game, which is now I look at it, it was ridiculous, but still it was kind of a exercise in futility. But yeah, it was a pretty steep learning curve. I
Yeah.
think one of the first big dents that I ever fixed was on that old Ford Taurus.
Ugh.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to talk about Ford Tauruses here on this show. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right.
They're the
Forget.
worst with the big swoop.
Yeah. 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 And it was right in the worst part of the door, right in the front, just before the mirror, or
Oh,
actually this side of the mirror. And um, it was, it was probably the size of a tangerine. and I didn't know anything about moving metal, and so I didn't know how to release pressure or anything like that. So um, it was uh, it was not good.
And I'll tell you, I'm gonna have nightmares tonight thinking about Ford Tauruses, because when I was with the Wiz, you know, every training thing that they could do would be a Ford Taurus, and they would whack that door with like a bat right in the middle of it, and you'd have to fix it on a time. And those cars were always getting whacked back in the day. Like all these texts are like, "Oh, we got these body lines, you know, they're so difficult." I'm like, you didn't have Mitsubishi Galants, and you did not have Ford Tauruses, so I don't even
Yeah.
want to hear it.
Yeah, exactly. But what I was gonna say was back when I got trained, um, the tools that we had was a bunch of stuff that got hacked together in somebody's garage, and just cheap stuff, all handmade stuff in somebody's garage. And the instructor would come by, and he had a piece of cardboard and a ball peen hammer, and he'd make a dent with it, you know, whack the door, and then he'd say, "Okay, fix it." And then he'd move to the next guy, and the same, you know, repeat the same cycle. Didn't show you how to knock nothing down. I had a For a knockdown, I had a cut off toothbrush handle,
Oh,
and for a reflector board, it was a yellow PVC pole and a 12-volt spotlight mounted on this little dinky tripod, and you shined the spotlight on the pole, and you would use that as a reflector. It was
that's
stupid.
scary. That's
Yeah,
scary. But see, that's
yeah.
some Sal stuff. I mean, I said to Sal, I'm like, I want to give you credit. He's like, "What's that?" I said, "How in the hell do you fix anything off of a PVC pipe?" And he's like, "It's all about natural reflection." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, I can't do it."
No,
Like,
actually, when I was working outside for a while, I actually made one of those, and it basically runs a straight line right across, depending on what angle you set it at. Man,
mm.
you can see all your crowns and everything really, really well. I mean, it's nice, but I don't use that anymore.
Yeah.
I'm kind of not necessarily graduated, but uh, I've got old eyes,
Yeah.
so
Y-
actually really I only got one good eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Other
I
ones
smashed.
no good at all.
Uh, well, if I look at stuff with my, will you shut up, a stupid dog? Um, if I look at stuff with my right eye, it goes like this.
Hmm.
Because what happened was back when I had my shop, I was compression starting my son-in-law's car because his starter went out, and by the time we figured out that it was a ignition switch problem, it was too late to get anything at the auto parts store. So I was shoving his car out of the garage, and it stuttered, and so all my weight was over the hood, and uh, the car started, and it flew out from underneath me. So I was horizontal to the ground, trying to get my legs underneath me. And he saw me falling, so he panicked and he slammed on the brakes. And um, I took the license plate bolt right here,
Oh my gosh.
and I snapped my neck pretty good. I left about a half a pint of blood on the pavement, and the impact basically tore the retina in my right eye. And so even though it's healed, um, I can still see some, but I can't see straight lines out of it. So I have to do everything with my left eye.
Whew. See,
Yeah.
I'm a right eye strong. I'll close my left eye completely.
Yeah.
You know. But man, that's a terrible story.
Well, I'm doing halfway decent work, being almost elderly with
Oh, shit.
with one good eye and half a brain.
Now, I've got a question for you. Do you feel that most dent guys are artsy or artistic? You know what I mean? Do you feel like most of us are in that realm of, have art characteristics?
Um, I do. One of the reasons is because, okay, what you're doing is you're using crude methods to shape metal back into your interpretation of what that panel looked like before it got damaged. And the way that I also look at it is that some of that, regardless of what some people's beliefs are, is there are some God-given talent in individuals. And one way to describe that is, say, for instance, you take 10 guys and you put them in a room with a block of granite, a hammer, and a chisel, and you tell them to make a work of art out of it. And how many of those 10 guys would be artisans, and how many would be chiselers in all reality? Because there are some things that are, obviously some people have to work harder than others to get to a certain level.
Yeah.
And the people that have the advantage over some is that there's some things that are just naturally in their makeup, the way that they look at things. What I've seen is a lot of people that have strong imaginations, able to grasp concepts or see things in their mind and make them happen with their eyes and their hands. And that's all basically being artistic.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you can't do PDR and not be artistic, but I think that's a plus.
So you think it's a little easier? That's the benefit, and helps you excel and learn faster?
I think so. I know that it was when being a millwright and being mechanical and doing a bunch of mechanic work and reading blueprints and uh, seeing things that aren't there. It was easier for me to understand door structure just by looking at a door, finding the spot welds, imagining where the angle of the door braces are or whatever before I even stick a tool down on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if what are you saying, James?
He's saying he has no artistic abilities.
Well, it's not my fault.
A lot of that's because his hands are so big he can't even hold a pencil. So
I know how big his hands are. He punched me in the eye one time. I know how big his hands are.
oh man. That's what I've had this conversation before. You look at professional athletes and you're like, did they just want it more than the average person? Did they just work harder because they wanted it more than I wanted it? Or do you think some of it is natural ability? And I think it's both. Just like you said, I think some of it is they have natural ability. Some people are faster than other people. They're just
Mm-hmm.
born that way. But
Mm-hmm.
some of it is, and I say this all the time to the new guys, it's all drive, how much you want
Mm-hmm.
it. If you want to be better, if you want to be faster, if you want to make more money, it's all in how much you want and how much you apply yourself to that task to get there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and some of it's genetics too.
True.
Some of
I don't
it's
know.
genetics because and it's not necessarily that you had a good example when you were growing up, like a father that had a terrific work ethic, but even if you didn't know your parents, even if you didn't know your dad and he was a workaholic or whatever, you're going to find that somebody in that, some child or whatever in that lineage is going to be a workaholic, just like the
That
father
makes
was,
sense. That makes
because
sense.
it's in their makeup.
Yeah,
It's
that
in
makes
their
sense.
makeup. Hmm.
That makes sense. How did you get into the stand liner ream of tools? What made you think it? You're like, oh, this, let me try this. How did you get introduced to the whole stand liner thing?
Okay. The I went to, of course, I was talking about my hack together tools. So I would use my tools in ways that they were not designed to be used for. So I would take one tool and try to do as much as I could inside that door panel or whatever without grabbing another tool or running back to my truck or whatever and grabbing another tool. So I was accustomed to multi-purpose tools.
So was I.
So I went to, I was going to the advanced skill seminars at, oh,
PDR
good grief.
college.
Yeah, PDR college put on, Keith and Shane. And the one year they invited Kaz over to show his stuff. Of course, the first year that he did it, it was like shock and awe because he got up on top of that car and stomped on the roof. That was insane. Kicked the front fender. That was insane too. But as he was using his tools, one of the guys that I was running around with there said that he was watching me. And I said, "What do you mean you're watching me?" He said, "I was watching you watching Kaz." And he said, "And while you were watching him, I could see the wheels turning and the light bulbs going on." And so while everybody went to lunch, I spent my lunch hour uh, talking to Kaz, even though he stutters really bad in his own language.
Yeah.
You can imagine what it's like to talk to him, in English
Yeah.
when he's trying to find the right words. But I spent my lunch hour talking with him because I wanted to know more.
Yeah.
Because I could see the definite advantages of using his tools or whatever. Because hey, I wasn't getting any younger.
Yeah.
I'm not getting any younger now. I'm not a spring chicken like some people think they are, or a free range capon or whatever. Still,
Oh, shit.
but so when I talked to him, I became really uh, um, wanting to learn or know more. And when I found out that he could train, uh, I scrounged the money together and went to Lithuania and trained for a week with him.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I wanted to get certified in his tools and his techniques, and because I could see that it was going to be easier on my body,
Mm-hmm.
and so I wanted to prolong my career, or at least for as long as I could. So I went and trained with him for a week, and you gotta know what it's like to do dent work in front of a guy that's got 50 years under his belt, and um, the guy is just a workaholic, and as far as like fixing dents, he's just incredible. And so he's showing his tools and his techniques, and he's showing you how he'll go through and show you how to use the tool, and then he'll give you the tool and you'll work with it. And when you start doing something wrong, then he'll say stop, and then he'll grab the tool from you, explain, show you again, hand you the tool. You go to use his tool again, and when you make a mistake, he'll say stop and take the tool away from you again. It's pretty nerve-wracking.
How was that experience overall? The whole trip experience?
Um, Well, of course, you got a language barrier. The young people over there, they speak pretty good English, but if you get anybody that's like 50 and older, I asked a guy when I was staying at the hotel over there, and I asked the guy because every morning they would serve you breakfast, and they'd have the cold half waiting for you, and then they'd bring you the hot half when you got down there. And the first morning I go down there and I asked one of the gardener where the restaurant was, and he just looked at me like I fell out of the sky. So he had me follow him, and then he went into the kitchen and found somebody that spoke a little English, and it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
The food, I ate like a horse over there, and I lost 7 pounds because the food over there is all natural. They don't import anything. It's all homegrown. So they serve a lot of vegetables and stuff like that, and it's good. The experience as far as learning, I would walk from the hotel. It was like 5 minutes. I'd walk down to his house get there about 10 o'clock, and then we'd do instruction till about 1, and then I'd cut out for lunch and then come back, and then we'd go until about 4 o'clock, and then he'd make coffee, and then we just sit around chit chat. I was fortunate because I was the only one that was signed up for classes that week, and so it was just me and him, which was really a really neat experience too.
Yeah. Yeah. I spent a little bit of time with Kaz at MTE. Was it 2000? No, it was 19. And his true driven passion, like just how much time I was with him,
Mm-hmm.
trying to use a tool. And it's one of my videos on my YouTube channel. And it was a really special hour that I had with him, just because
Mm-hmm.
even though we had the language barrier, I could understand what he was trying to
Mm-hmm.
show to me. I'm a 21-year tech, and I'm like, I don't quite understand, but let's figure this out because it interests me. And just the way that he, showed you could feel the passion in him, like really wanting to teach. And I'm like, this guy's a really good teacher. I mean,
Mm-hmm. He
I don't
he doesn't do it for the money.
know.
It's not about the money.
No.
It's about the craft. It's about the tools, because if you didn't love his tools, that would almost bring him to tears, almost, you would think.
Yeah.
Um, because he loves what he does, so much.
And I know
I
he gets
mean,
really upset when guys cut the handles off.
okay. I
That
I helped him set up their booth that one year, and of course that's like the tail end of education day, and I'm helping him set up the booth, and he's really fanatical about organization and the way things look and everything like that. And there was guys sneaking in and walking over to the booth and touching his tools, and he about blew a gasket. I never seen him that upset. He grabbed a tool out of one guy's, and he's giving this dirtiest look, and then hung it back up on the board.
it's always
Oh,
a hot booth. That booth is always
there was now you weren't there this year,
no.
and they were 3 deep in front of the booth. I mean, they sold the first day. They sold, I think Thomas said they sold 70% of their inventory the first day.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
it was crazy.
And they're well made. I do give them that. That's some of that stuff, and something is definitely different with the steel.
No, all of their stuff. No, I've got a couple things that they flex, but they flex in a good way. They don't necessarily flex in a bad way. But all of their thicker stuff. I mean, your experience with stiff tools. Um, is, I like them a lot better than something that just flops around.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
I mean, you definitely got more control.
Yeah. That's crazy. I didn't know you went to training out there.
Well, and then, I was posting stuff online, and then Thomas and Kaz decided that they wanted to do something special, and they had that seminar at Don Kavanaugh's
Oh yeah.
place.
Yeah.
And so when I was there, first thing they did the introductions, and I was hoping that they would have done it at the end of the seminar, but they didn't do it. First thing in the morning, he calls me up there in the front, and so I'm in front of 50 other good techs, right? And Kaz comes out and presents me with Gold Master Craftsman certification.
Oh, that's cool.
And that was like I think at the time there was like 11 gold certifieds, and I think I was like number 12. There's been 2 more, and I think Valash from Australia, I think he was the latest one.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, it's just another feather in your cap. I don't never necessarily never really considered myself that special. If I did, I'd probably change my name to Ed. So
oh my gosh. So Josh is asking, which tool would be your first to buy if you don't have any of their tools?
Sword tool,
Yeah.
because that's basically going to get you in the door, because you can push with in the natural, okay, American way or whatever, right off the bat. But what you're going to find is if you use it as a twister, it's so strong and it's sharp. So, but it's sharp in a way. It doesn't have the radius like a crane, but there's something about the radius on there. Plus, if you tip it just a little bit and use the rounded part away from the point, there's something special about that little radius there that brings stuff up so nice and clean, and it doesn't catch on anything. And like if you become accustomed to either dragging or sliding, it's so smooth. What's that? Love my sword tool. Yep.
Yeah, the sword tool is a great tool. I mean, certainly, I use it a lot in quarters and get it all the way down to the lip, where it gets really thin to where if you get a whale tail in there, you don't quite get the leverage. But with the sword tool, you can kind of get in and just it's got enough power. I've got a couple different lengths of them. I use them all the time.
Fishtail is incredible. This long one, for some reason, they changed the thickness of the tip just a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see that. It's not quite as thin as the shorter one, but this thing is incredibly strong. Incredibly strong.
So where you are right now, are you pretty confident that you can take on just about almost everything that's thrown at you? Or do you kind of...
I have, since I've been to Lithuania and seen the stuff that he's done, and the stuff that I've been doing all the last, ever since I've been to Lithuania. I've been chasmerized. I mean, if that's even a word.
That's a good one.
If that's even a word, because seeing some of the stuff that he's done, knowing that, or understanding a little bit more about how to move metal and relieve tension and all of that stuff. Unless it doesn't make monetary, because I look at it through the customer's eyes. What's in the best interest of the customer? I mean, granted, I mean, when I got into this thing, I wasn't worried about the money because I figured that if I pushed quality, that the money would take care of itself, and it always
Yeah.
has. But what is in the best interest of the customer? Obviously, if they have a 96 Honda Accord and the fender's smashed, but you can fix it, but it doesn't make monetary sense for the customer to step up and pay you $1,700 to fix it. You know, if it was a brand new Honda Accord pearl white, yeah, it might make sense. But you know, I'm not getting these big, super, super ugly smashes. I mean, I have done them, but only when they make monetary sense for the customer.
Of course.
So, I mean, when they can, if they're not adverse to to getting their car painted, and they just want to run it through insurance, they don't want, you know, they want their car back relatively quickly. I mean, even though you explain to them that the car is going to be tied up 5 to 7 days at the body shop, if they have a high deductible and it makes more monetary sense for them to get it fixed at the body shop, I'll say, yeah, do it. But if you want to get your car back right away, you might end up paying a little bit more to me, but you could also try to use that as a bargaining chip with your insurance company if you have rental car coverage, because then they're not paying for the rental car, so you're saving a little bit of money there. Maybe they might waive some of that deductible.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and I think the
yeah.
market's changed now too. It's crazy. I feel like now customers are more willing to pay more. For one, because around here, the body shops there's a lot of shops that aren't even taking repairs right now. They're like, yeah, we don't even know when we can get you in.
They can't get the stupid parts.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is bonkers.
I mean, if you can save a panel, I mean, you're money ahead.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I never really got into doing push to paint. I have done a couple, but I've done more push to paints this year at one of the body shops that I work for than I ever had before.
Yeah.
And they basically just wanted me to come in and save the panel.
Yeah.
Because they weren't going to be able to get the part. I think one of them was like aluminum hood on a Mercedes, big Mercedes, and they said, well, we can't get the hood, and the dent is stretched. If you can just make it, you know, close to being flat, I said, we'll be good to go.
Yeah, and that's a tough line with push to paint for me. Is I challenge myself, and I'm making decent money. I don't know when to stop.
Well,
you know what I mean? When you're like, they're going to grind this down and put a little skim coat on it. How far do I need to go? A lot of times I'll look at the tech and be like, how far do you want me to go with this? You know, some of them are like, just get it close. And they come back over and they're like, bro, you're way far, way far ahead.
Yeah. No, you don't. No, and I think some of that is that inside of you got a little bit of self-satisfaction. And, you know, if you're artistic and you're somewhat fussy about the way that your stuff looks, a lot of times you go way too far.
Yeah.
I did that on a black Silverado that was, the back quarter was just caved in, and there was paint damage in the top. They wanted me to save the panel. I saved the panel and then sent it back to the dealership, and they were supposed to send it to the body shop for paint. And one hungry salesman took one of his customers back there, and he loved the truck, so they just touched up the spot and blew it out the door.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. I mean, the panel looked good, but the top part needed to be painted.
Yeah.
But it was like, I think I charged them, what was it? Yeah, I charged them $1,500 wholesale, because the bedside, just the new panel was about $950, and then of course you'd add the install, and paint and everything else. And it was crazy.
Well, Bruce, we are running out of time. How
Oh,
can people
has
find
it
you on?
been an hour already?
Yeah, we could go for another hour.
Oh,
I see
wow.
this. Where can people find you on social media?
Probably flat on my back, sound asleep. I'm just kidding. Well, you know how old people are.
Certainly one-eyed old people.
My wife said that she should come on here.
Hey, come on.
Well,
We
she
could do
said
it
that.
next week.
Well, she said that she'd tell everybody what I'm really like, and I said, no, you're not doing that.
She says he has the best red lipstick ever.
No, she doesn't wear makeup.
Oh man.
No, you can find me on my Facebook page.
And what is that?
Well, Bruce Halverson.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And because basically, except for a couple of minor things, I'm a little bit. I'm not quite so business oriented on my personal page, but my personal page basically mirrors my business page because nobody, of course, everybody has their own opinion, but people put way too much personal stuff on their
yes.
Facebook page.
I mean,
you don't need. I mean, you don't need to know how many times I go to the restroom.
No.
Huh? No.
No.
Or how many,
You're right.
or how, or what color lipstick I use. Lip gloss.
That's it, lip gloss. Well, Bruce, I really appreciate you coming on. We'll have to definitely do this again to get some more lip gloss colors on here.
It didn't feel like it was an hour.
I tell everybody, I said, man, it flies by and they're like, oh, I'm so nervous. I'm like, you're going to blink an eye and it's going to be time to go. So, but no,
a lot of times you come onto one of these things and it's hard to really be yourself because you're in the back of your mind, you're thinking, well, you got all these people watching and everything else. But I've really been more at ease on this one than I had on the first one that I ever did. I think it was Ian's. I went on Ian's one time. Yeah.
I mean, I've done these shows, man, how many years? I've been
A
doing
lot.
live shows for 4 years, a little over 4 years. And I still, when I started the Dent Digest, my very first one 2 years ago, I was nervous as hell. And I'm like, you've been doing this for 2 years. Why are you nervous? But it gets to a point, and it's funny because I let this run. I let my YouTube channel run at the shop.
Mhm.
And I was talking to a customer who was waiting in the waiting room, and I came out and told him his car was done. He's like, man, you do a really good job. And I was like, I just talk, it's like we can all, that's one good thing about this is everybody that's in here can relate. I can relate to your story. You can relate to my story. Now I know what color lip gloss you wear. You understand. I like red
It's
lipstick.
Flesh tone.
So, we can all relate. And that's one good thing about MTE and all the events is we could talk dents for 5 days and not be tired.
Well, your wife didn't want to talk dents.
I know. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I mean, it's like you go to MTE or whatever, or get together. It's like therapy.
It is. It is. It's a good time, and I've missed it. I'll tell you that. I've missed it. But we gotta get together for sure. But I love watching techs, and I guess it's because just like you were saying about the tools have evolved crazy, just like that light that you have.
Mhm.
I mean, I used to use a piece of plexiglass with a stripe painted down the center of it.
Mhm.
But I like seeing a perfect example, Manny. He's a fairly new tech that does a hell of a job. Some of the stuff he fixes, I'm like, there's not a dent. I'm not fixing that.
Well,
you
you
know.
think about it. Of course, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it through eyes that were um, isolated for years up here in the Northwest because there was nobody to talk to or whatever, compare notes to or whatever. And the guys coming into the industry now are they've got so much more going for them now. Um, because I think in the since I left the shop back in 14 and really got a chance to look online and see what guys were doing and the network, going to advanced skill seminar, going to MTE, staying in touch with the guys that were at the advanced skill seminar. Um, there's so much information and so many guys out there that are willing to share stuff
It's crazy.
that I never had up here. I mean, it was like part of your job description was to mad dog your competition.
Yeah.
I mean, that was it. You gave everybody a dirty look. I hate you, you hate me. We've never met. We might be the nicest guys in the world, but it's like dog eat dog.
Yep. I've
It
had
just
guys screaming at me, what are you doing? What do you think you're doing? I mean, that's the way it was back in the day. And same
Oh
thing,
yeah.
we would hide in the back. Nobody could watch us.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Yeah.
hidden.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the new tech's got so much going for them now
yeah.
than us spring chickens ever did.
Well, Bruce, I appreciate your support. I know you've been, you watch the show and I do appreciate it, and keep doing what you're doing.
Trying hard. I'll
You're,
probably they'll probably have to pry a dent tool from my cold dead fingers when I pass, but I can't see myself quitting anytime soon. I like what I do way too much probably,
yeah.
but I mean, that's how it is. It's just in me, I guess.
We were lucky. That's all. We were lucky that we found this.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
it found us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But keep doing it. I watch your stuff. I enjoy it. You do some hell of a repairs. If you guys don't follow him, make sure you follow. You'll learn a couple things.
Yeah, you'll learn what not to do.
Hey, I'm first in line.
I make so much work for myself, it's ridiculous.
I do the same thing sometimes too. I'm like, what? Come on, Ryan. I did it today. I was like, come on, why? Why didn't you? Whatever. It's all good. Well, Bruce,
Yeah.
thank
Yes,
you
sir.
very much. I appreciate you coming on, buddy.
Not
Stay
a
in
problem.
touch.
I
We're going
will.
to get you back on here because I want to pick your brain again here.
Well, we
So
might not have much to pick though.
it's okay. It's okay. We'll get a little bit. You have to change that lip gloss color, but we'll get going. Bruce, I'll see you later. Thank you. See ya.
It's been fun.
Have a great evening.
All right, you too.
See ya.
Okay, bye.
What a great guy. Let me tell you. I hope in a couple years, I'm doing what he's doing at his age, just doing a fantastic job. He's a hell of a dent tech. And knowledge, really, really good knowledge. So you guys have a great night. Have a great rest of your weekend. And be safe. Wash your damn hands. And I'll see you next week. Keep it real, guys. See ya.